Hello, it's very good to have you with us on ERi-TV. This is English News Broadcast live from the headquarters in Asmara at exactly 10:30 p.m. First, the top stories. Meeting on expanding public organization conducted. Cultural and Sports Week in Hamel Malo Sabzon carried out. Russia accuses Ukraine of attempt to kill Putin with drones. 3% of the world suffered acute food insecurity last year, UN reports. A meeting with a view to expand public organizations was conducted in Sweden on 30th April. At the meeting, in which over 200 community representatives as well as national organizations and associations took part, Mr. Sirak Bahlabi, head of the Public and Community Affairs at the Eritrean Embassy, pointing out that strong organization is the basis for strong community, strong leadership and strong nationalism, said that strong effort will be exerted to expand the strength and strengthen public organizations. Mrs. Sabah Takhle, chairperson of the National Union of Eritrean Women branch, on her part, said that reinforced effort will be carried out to recruit young women that are willing to work for the realization of the objectives and mission of the Union. Underlining that an active organization with clear missions will always emerge victorious, Mr. Amanuel Mengistu, chairperson of the PFDG organization, called for strengthening organizational capacity and participation in the national affairs. Mr. Filmon Takhlai, head of the National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students, also called for strengthening participation of all stakeholders in the effort to transfer the noble societal values to the young generation. Likewise, Mr. Nagasi Kasa, Eritrea's ambassador to the European Union, and Benelux countries gave seminar to the participants focusing on the significance of strengthening organization in nation-building process. Students' Cultural and Sports Week has been conducted in Hamel Malo subzone from 28th April to 1st May. The Cultural and Sports Week incorporated sports and literature as well as traditional songs and costume and general knowledge competitions. Mr. Kidane Gebrai, head of the Cultural Affairs in the subzone, said that the objective of the Cultural and Sports Week was to enable the students to identify their talent and develop them as well as to share experiences among each other. Indicating that the Cultural and Sports Week has comparative advantage in which students could develop their skills and become competitive, Mr. Jaber Ibrahim, head of the Education Office in the subzone, called on all stakeholders to strengthen participation and contribution for the sustainability of the program. At the event, prizes were handed over to winners of various competitions. Seminar on law and crime prevention as well as traffic law was organized to students in the port city of Massawa on the 2nd of May. At the seminar, Major Asras Asafau, head of crime prevention in the northern Reti region, said that the objective and mission of police is to control crime and bring criminals to the court of justice, and called on the students to cooperate with police in the effort to prevent crime and offenses. Major Melak Gebramariam, head of the police traffic in the region, on his part called for strictly follow traffic guidelines with a view to prevent the prevalence of traffic accidents that are taking lives and damage properties. Major Asras said that last year about 240 traffic accidents have been registered, in which 8 people died and 157 wounded, and property worth about 600,000 nafa damaged. We are live on ERi-TV. Stay tuned for international news. Russia has accused Ukraine of attempting an overnight drone attack on the Kremlin with the aim of killing President Vladimir Putin. The allegation was made yesterday by the Russian government and reported by several state news agencies. Putin was not in the building at the time, and there was no material damage to the Kremlin, Russian officials said, as they warned of their right to retaliate. The Kremlin has assessed these actions as a planned terrorist act and an assassination attempt on the president on the eve of Victory Day, the May 9 parade. This is according to state news agency. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky denied the accusation, saying his country had not attacked Moscow or its president. Senior Ukrainian presidential official Mikhail Podolyak also called the Reuters news agency that Kyiv had nothing to do with the alleged accident. Russia also accused Ukraine of attacks in December on an air base deep inside Russian territory that houses strategic bombers plane equipped to carry nuclear weapons, and Ukraine has typically declined to claim responsibility for the attack on Russia or Russian annexed Crimea. Conflicts, climate change, and the COVID-19 pandemic made more than 250 million people suffered acute food insecurity last year in 58 countries. That is roughly 3% of the global population, which now stands at 8 billion. Acute food insecurity is when a person's inability to consume adequate food puts their lives or livelihoods in the immediate danger. In 7 of them, Somalia, Afghanistan, Burkina Faso, Haiti, Nigeria, South Sudan, and Yemen, people faced starvation and death. The findings were laid out in a report by the Global Report on Food Crisis, an alliance of humanitarian organizations founded by the UN and European Union. While the increase last year was due in part to more populations being analyzed, the report also found that the severity of the problem increased as well, highlighting a concerning trend of the deterioration. The report found that the number of people facing acute food insecurity and requiring urgent food aid, 258 million, had increased for the 4th consecutive year, a stinging indictment of humanitarian failure to implement UN goals to end world hunger. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres stated. Rain Paulson, Director of the Emergencies and Resilience of the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, said an interplay of the causes was driving hunger. They include conflicts, climate shocks, the impact of the pandemic, and consequences of Russia-Ukraine war that has impact on the global trade in fertilizers, wheat, maize, and sunflower oils. Iran has seized an oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz in what is second such incident in the region in a week, as tension with the United States continues. The Middle East-based U.S. Fifth Fleet and Iranian media confirmed on yesterday that the Naval Force of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps stopped a tanker in the busy waterplay. A video released by the Fifth Fleet appeared to show about a dozen fast-attack Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps vessel approaching a tanker that was identified as the Panama-flagged Novi. The U.S. said the tanker was forced to reverse course into Iranian terrorist water during the UNLAW seizure. Now let's have a quick review of the top stars. Meeting on expanding public organization conducted. Cultural and sports weeks in Hamel Malo subzone carried out. Russia accuses Ukraine of attempt to kill Putin with drones. It was me, Salim Brhana, with the news for tonight. Thank you for being with us.